It could be said that wine, at the end of the day, is just some fermented grapes. But it could just as easily be said that it can be a life's obsession. Such is the case with Natalie MacLean. Her latest book is called Unquenchable, a tipsy quest for the world's best bargain wines. Natalie MacLean joins us after going through 8 countries, 312 wineries, and 15,267 wines. Welcome, and you look pretty good after all that.
Thank you. I'm well preserved, but some would say I'm completely pickled. So,
but you know what? For a woman who says that you enjoy the great indoors, I mean, you really went through great lengths. You were swimming with the sharks. You were doing all kinds of things.
I was trying to have adventures because I think first and foremost, a book about wine should entertain. If you start out trying to educate, you're going to either hit on the road of snobbery or boredom. And so that's why I did some fun things, some unusual things, sought those passionate, obsessive-compulsive winemakers to tell the story of wine.
Because it's also part travelogue, too, because you go into the histories of the regions and why they drank the wines they did and what happens, and some wonderful people that you met along the way.
Absolutely. Wine is my excuse to be nosy and get into people's lives. And these winemakers that I met, they were so hospitable. They allowed me to sit at their kitchen tables and at their dining rooms and just share stories and open their lives to me. And I felt fortunate to be able to discover wine and their culture, their country, through shared glasses of wine.
And the thing that I find interesting, and you make the case that, there's no such thing as a great $5 wine, but the whole point of getting a good wine is the best value for your money.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But the thing is, when you talk to all these people, the one thing they didn't talk about was the price of their wines.
That's true.
They talked about, I don't know, ladybugs. Okay, can I ask you first about the crushed ladybugs? Okay, what is the difference between the organic wines and the wines made from organic grapes? Because that is a distinction, right?
That's true. That's true. There's a 2-step process to making wine. There's growing the grapes out in the vineyard and then taking them into the winery, crushing them and fermenting them and making them into wine. So when we see organic produce in the grocery store, like organic tomatoes or whatever, nothing has happened to that fruit or vegetable. It's organic. But with grapes, there's a 2-stage process. So the grapes may be grown organically, but then they may have used chemicals or whatever in the winery itself to make the wine.
You also tell the story of port, which I thought was fascinating.
Yes.
You always do it port to port. You go clockwise.
That's right. That's the tradition because it symbolizes the passing of time. And so as you pass it from one to another, you're recognizing that. And the community around the table, it's just a lovely tradition.
And you're never supposed to ask for the port. And then you meet this wonderful man who talks about, because it's a real combination of science and art, right? And he talks about capturing the sun almost.
Exactly. Well, the saying is that wine is bottled sunshine, or as he said, the liquid expression of solar energy. And I love that because it's almost artistic. I mean, he reminded me of painters who try to capture the light in their paintings. He's trying to capture the light in his wine, and what kind of expression and depth and flavor can that give to the wine?
What I loved about each chapter is you end with tips, which of course you have tips, but it's also the books that you can read with it, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. The books were great.
I love that pairing.
But what you also say is, at the end of the day, you're still a wine writer.
Yes.
And one of the men in the crew said, "Wow, a woman who writes about wine," which is rare. But also the fact that you say that there is some value in that. No, you're not finding a cure for cancer, but there is something to be said about writing about pleasure, right?
Absolutely. Like for a while I thought, what am I doing? I'm writing about wine, I'm relieving bourgeois stress. Where is the purpose in that? But then as I talk to more and more people, I realized that what I'm trying to do is help people find joy and relaxation at the end of the day. I don't advocate in moderation, despite what my titles say. And I think a good glass of wine with someone you love is the perfect end to a great day.
You know what? It's a fun book. It is full of wonderful people who have so much joy.
Oh, thank you.
And a lot of pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And if your viewers are looking for a shopping list, I've posted some of those bargain wines on my site.
Because you've got NatalieMacLean.ca.
.com.
Is it
yes,
.com?
That's
Sorry.
right.
We've got it on the screen. It's right on the screen. NatalieMacLean.com. There you go.
Great.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ms. Sumi.